Yes, you made it back to the channel. Look, and just like the title of the video, following up, you're following up to another video. Congratulations. Hey, the more you learn, the more you earn. I'm very proud of you guys. Look, following up like a professional. The reason I made this video, I felt like it was a super important video to get put out there, because just training a sales team and training new salespeople, one thing that I noticed is that they don't like follow-up, right? And fortune is made in the follow-up. Most salespeople don't lose deals because they can't sell. They lose deals because they disappear. The average salesperson follows up 2 to 3 times before quitting. Meanwhile, the average buyer often doesn't make a purchasing decision until weeks or months later. So look, your follow-up isn't annoying. It's your competitive advantage. The sale isn't won on the first call. It is won by the salesperson who remains professionally present until the buyer is ready. So guys, let's jump in. Let's go over lesson 1. All right, follow-up is a business process, not an emotion. Average salespeople follow up when they feel like it, right? We don't do that. The best salespeople, we're going to follow a system, okay? Never let your emotions determine your activity. Your pipeline should dictate your day. Every prospect belongs in one of 4 categories, okay? Hot, which is buying now. We've got warm, which is buying soon. Long-term, and then lost, okay? And every single category has a different cadence. And professionals don't guess. We execute, okay? Let's move to lesson 2. Let's roll. Let's get moving here. Lesson 2 is activity creates opportunity. And I want you to understand, you don't control closes. You control conversations, right? If you are actively performing accounting work for clients, then your job needs to be prospecting. There's no gray area. Absolutely at all. Your day should look something like this. 100 plus outbound dials, minimum of 3 hours of talk time, personalized follow-up emails, personalized text messages that match the conversation that you had before. We got to do LinkedIn touches, CRM updates immediately after every conversation, referral requests, review requests, reactivation campaigns, new prospect outreach. Every day. There should never be idle time. When activity drops, revenue drops. When conversation increases, probability increases. All right, lesson 3, write this down. Momentum is more valuable than motivation. And every day I see it. Most salespeople, they wait until the day that they feel like it, okay? Well, understand that momentum decays, okay? The first 24 hours after speaking with someone are so critical. You need to follow up, okay? Same day, next morning, 48 hours, 1 week, 2 weeks, okay? Until you get a clear no, then you need to be on their case. They raise their hand for a reason. You spend an hour with them for a reason, follow up with them, okay? Look, when there's this momentum going when you get off the phone with someone, what that does is it creates it breaks through a layer and creates familiarity for you. And familiarity creates trust, and trust is what creates business. Let's go to lesson 4, okay? Multi-channel domination. Look, if you're only calling, you're invisible. I hate to tell you, all right? Modern follow-up happens everywhere. So we got to do phone, text, email, LinkedIn, voicemail, video message, handwritten note for premium prospects. Your prospects should consistently see evidence that you're a professional who follows through, not someone who pesters. The goal isn't frequency. The goal is professional presence. I call it volumizing. Okay, we got to volumize. All right, lesson 5. Every touch must add value. Okay, never send them. Just never say some dumb text or some message on, hey, just checking in. Like, that's junk. That creates zero value. Instead, provide something useful every time. All right, let me give you some examples. Tax planning insight, like send it out to them, a cash flow strategy, bookkeeping, best practice, a new IRS update, client success story. Or give them a short educational video like, hey, how you doing? It's me. We talked the other day. Here's this great thing I thought of for you. Boom. ROI calculation, industry benchmark, helpful, a very beautiful, helpful checklist. Next steps for them. Send it to them for free. Be a savage. Hey, I'm giving you this for free. Imagine what I'll do for you when you pay me. All right? Solving problems at all times. Look, every interaction needs to make the prospect think, this person made my business better. All right? Let's go to lesson 6, okay? Persistence without pressure. Guys, pressure sounds like this. Hey, have you decided yet? Now, there's a difference. Notice I said the title of this lesson, persistence without pressure. Well, pressure sounds like you haven't decided yet, and persistence sounds like, I know timing matters. I wanted to share another idea that may help you increase profitability before year end. Well, Pressure asks for answers. Persistence creates reasons to continue the conversation. I always want to be advancing the sell at all times. I always got to advance the sell. Lesson 7, protect the darn pipeline. Write it down. Protect the darn pipeline. What do I mean by that? Well, you don't rely on memory. That's what young people do, rookies. Okay, people who are not truly professionals. Understand, everything you do needs to live inside of that CRM. Okay, every conversation should answer what problems do they have, why do they want to solve it, what do they want to solve, what concerns remain, what was promised, when is the next touch, which communication channel do they respond to best. If it isn't documented, it didn't happen. Okay, lesson 8, your daily standard. Okay, look, the biggest mistake I see is people confusing being busy with creating pipeline. If your calendar has openings, your phone should be in your hand. Okay, my expectation is simple: 100 plus dials every day, 3 hours of talk time, every lead touched, every follow-up scheduled, every conversation documented, every promised action completed before the end of the day. Hope is not a sales strategy. Okay, that's bullcrap. Activity is, discipline is, consistency is. All right, let's go to lesson 9, long-term relationship building. Look, for me, some of the highest value clients you'll ever sign, they're not going to buy on the first call, the first month, or sometimes even the first year, but they'll remember who consistently educated them, who respected their time, and stay engaged without disappearing. The sale ends, the relationship doesn't. You have to stay connected through newsletters, educational content, client appreciation, referrals, quarterly business reviews like tax law updates, personalized check-ins. Your objective is to become the person they think of whenever an accounting need arises. Okay, look, let me help you out here. Since you stayed till pretty much the end, I want to give you some word tracks to actually stay on the phone so you can close deals. Right? Things you'd have to pay like thousands for in a sales program. All right, here you go. So guys, after the first meeting, check this out. Hey John, I appreciated our conversation today. Based on what you shared about your goals, I put together a few additional ideas that may help. Let me walk you through them. After sending the proposal now, this is what you would say. I don't expect you to make a rushed decision. My job is to make sure you have everything you need to make the right one. What questions can I answer for you? Here's long-term follow-up. Hey John, we spoke a few months ago about growing your firm. I recently came across something that reminded me of our conversation, and I thought it would be valuable to share. Boom. Reactivating a cold prospect. Hey Janet, or hey Jimmy, when we last spoke, timing wasn't right. I'm curious. Has anything changed in your business since then that makes this a bigger opportunity or bigger priority? Boom. Final principle. The sales principal who wins, or the sales principal. Man, it's been a long day. Every day I'm talking nonstop. That's called winning, baby. The salesperson, the best salespeople, they're not presenters. They're really good at asking questions. They don't have the most charisma, or they're not the most experienced. What they do, though, is they ask really good questions, they diagnose, they solve problems, they make the prospect sell themselves through questions, they sell the transformation through questions where the prospect puts themselves in the future. But most importantly, the ones who win are the ones who are most consistent in the follow-up. So if you can do that, look, professional follow-up compounds like interest, okay? Exactly like interest. Every meaningful conversation, every value-driven touch point, and every disciplined day of 100 dials and 3 hours of talk time builds an asset your competitors rarely have. A pipeline that keeps producing long after the first conversation ends. And that's what it's all about. So listen, I hope you enjoyed this video. Kind of a short one, but we'll see you in the next one.